Good evening and welcome to the news roundup for Wednesday the 28th of June. Before we get into the news, please remember to like this video, share your views in the comments, and share the video with your family and friends.
Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Now for the news in detail. The police are searching for a suspect in relation to the fatal shooting of a man and the wounding of another along Lyndhurst Road in Kingston on Tuesday. The dead man has been identified as 27-year-old Ackerman Doheny, otherwise called Esco, a mechanic of Paradise Court in Kingston. The other man has been hospitalized with bullet wounds. It is reported that about 4:30 p.m., Doheny was at a shop waiting to be served when a gunman wearing a ski mask entered and fired 2 shots. Doheny was shot in the head and the other man in the left shoulder. The shooter escaped on foot.
When he was going up, I call him Bear. So I said, Bear, you leave out now? And him say, yes, grandma. I said, all right, later. And him wait to me to walk up there. I was sitting there and I hear my phone ring. When I see him calling me, especially my grandma, I was passing by Larry house. That is the girl who her son died. Then who them kill her son. And Larry, as Larry see me, Larry use the sentiment. You think we're not going to walk past here all the time and we're not going to get it back? All on a family. So what you say? I say, you sure you? Him say my grandmother, when I look right and look left, I don't see nobody. It was only me alone going up 11th Street. I call my sister who works very deeply. I call her and she said, take him now and come to the station. And I call his mother. I said, go for him and come to the station. And when she goes, she come back to me and said, they didn't call his name, so they can't do anything. But if he pass again, and she used the same sentiment that he must come back to her.
Senior Superintendent of Police Michael Phipps, commanding officer for the Kingston Western Division, said the killing is linked to a double murder on Sunday on a church ground in Arnett Gardens.
We are investigating information that one of 2 persons shot earlier along Lyndhurst Road may have been threatened by a close relative of Jaim Walker. The reports we have suggested that the relatives of this person were being accused of involvement in Mr. Walker's death. And as such, the man shot along Lyndhurst Road and other family members have been receiving death threats.
The Major Investigation Division says 2 men who were found with bullet wounds in the trunk of a Toyota Probox motor car along the Salt Pond Main Road in Spanish Town, St. Catherine on Tuesday afternoon were known goat thieves. A 3rd man, who turned up at the Spanish Town Hospital with bullet wounds, is suspected to be a crony of the deceased. The police are also searching for a 4th man who was traveling with the others. Detective Inspector David Harris of the Major Investigation Division said it is believed that the men were killed elsewhere and dumped along the roadway. He said the residents noticed that a Toyota Probox registered PH9913 was parked for hours, so they alerted the police. On their arrival, checks were made and 2 large Nubian goats were seen in the vehicle, along with the bodies of the 2 male deceased. The police say the suspect in hospital is to be further questioned. 19-year-old laborer Giovanni Robinson has been charged after confessing to the murder of a 77-year-old man in Barnstable, Stewart Town, Trelawney. The victim, identified as Hewitt Clark, was found dead in his pickup truck parked in the front of his yard. The incident occurred between June 23rd and 24th. Community members discovered Clark's body with chop wounds and alerted the police. Upon their arrival, Clark was found with multiple slashes to his hands, chin, and chest. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. Robinson turned himself into the police on June 25th and admitted to using a machete to kill Clark. He was charged on Tuesday after an interview with the authorities. Still in Trelawney, 37-year-old Shamari Spencer, a carpenter from Wakefield in the parish, was slapped with human trafficking charges after he allegedly held a woman hostage in his home for almost a year. It is alleged that Spencer beat and threatened her with a gun so she could not leave, and took several men to the house to have sexual intercourse with the woman for payment. The incident occurred between March of 2022 and February of this year. During a targeted operation within Wakefield, Spencer was arrested and subsequently charged on Tuesday the 27th of June. He is charged with human trafficking, false imprisonment, possession of a prohibited weapon, assault at common law, assault occasioning bodily harm, and benefiting from human trafficking. A taxi operator was shot and killed at his home in Sandy Bay, Mount Pelion, Hanover on Tuesday night. He has been identified as St. O'Brien Downey, otherwise called Cuban. The police state that Downey was at his home when he was ambushed and shot multiple times by armed men. The police were summoned, and upon their arrival, Downey was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The Sandy Bay and Lucy police have commenced an investigation into the killing. A member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force is hospitalized in serious condition following a gun attack by robbers in Yorktown, Clarendon on Wednesday afternoon. The Clarendon police have launched a major manhunt for gunmen who carried out the attack. It is suspected that two of the robbers were shot during an exchange of gunfire with the policeman. It is reported that the policeman was in an area known as Parnassus, accompanying someone purchasing a motorcycle when the attack happened. Sources say men pulled weapons, began firing, and the policeman was hit. The wounded policeman was off duty. The police believe the attackers may have also been shot as they observed bloodstains leading in different directions. The Kingston Spring police are probing the murder of a chef and a restaurant owner at his home at Calabar Mews in Kingston 20 on Tuesday night. The deceased has been identified as 35-year-old Frederick Beckford, operator of Jay's Knife and Fork. Beckford is also an ex-member of the Jamaica Defence Force. The police say Beckford had just arrived home about 9:20 p.m. when he was pounced upon by armed men. They opened fire, hitting him multiple times before escaping in a waiting motor vehicle. The police were summoned and Beckford was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. A year after 15-year-old Papine High School student Kenneth Williams was killed while on his way to school, a man has been charged with his murder. Williams was walking to school when he was attacked and shot on Ligani Avenue in St. Andrew by two males who stole his cellular phone on March 23rd last year. 29-year-old Shaquille Richards, otherwise called Shaquille Ballen of Chestnut Lane and Sandy Park, was charged after he was captured on closed-circuit television camera committing the murder. A teenager was charged last March after he was handed over to the police by his relatives. Minister of Local Government and Community Development Desmond McKenzie has informed that recent burnt victim Akelia Dunkley will receive a new house through the government's indigent housing program. Akelia suffered third-degree burns after a gas stove explosion at her home in burnt Savannah, St. Elizabeth on the 16th of June. The grade 7 Black River High School student has since been flown to the United States for treatment. Mackenzie assured that upon the teen's return to the island, she can look forward to better accommodation, as work will commence on her house expeditiously. A Portland taxi operator who allegedly attempted to suffocate his common-law wife last month has been charged. 37-year-old Ryan Stewart of Rural Hill in the parish is charged with attempt to suffocate with intent to commit murder, assault occasioning bodily harm, malicious destruction of property, and simple larceny. Reports are that on the 21st of May about 2:30 a.m., Stewart allegedly attacked his common-law wife and pushed her into a concrete wall, causing injuries. He also reportedly destroyed her cellular phone and laptop computer. In a bid to escape the abuse, the woman relocated to Johnson Mountain in St. Thomas, but Stewart turned up at her home and again attacked her, this time allegedly attempting to suffocate her with a pillow. He is also accused of stealing her debit cards and personal identification cards. In business, scammers have recently attempted to use the reputation of Kingston Wharves Limited and its managers to deceive car buyers into providing funds. Kingston Wharves, the primary hub for automobile imports in Jamaica, became aware of this scam last week. CEO Mark Williams clarified that Kingston Wharves does not sell cars and warned the public about the fraudulent activities. Impersonating employees of the company, the scammers contact potential car buyers, claiming to sell vehicles on behalf of Kingston Wharves. They then persuade individuals to make deposits on inexpensive cars. Williams emphasized that this is not the first time such a scam has occurred and urged people to exercise caution. Kingston Wharves solely facilitates the movement of vehicles and does not engage in car sales. The port handles vehicles imported by local car dealers, which are either sold in local showrooms or transshipped to other countries. And in sports, National Under-20 triple jump champion Jadon Hibbert has been named as a finalist for the Men's Bowerman Award, the top track and field individual honor in collegiate athletics. Hibbert enjoyed an excellent freshman year at the University of Arkansas, claiming the indoor and outdoor NCAA titles, setting records in the process. Hibbert broke the Under-20 world record this season with an effort of 17.87 meters and is currently the best jumper in the world this year. And that is it for your news roundup for today. We would appreciate you liking this video, leaving a comment and sharing the video with your family and friends. Have a good evening and see you next time.